Canada's new Governor General, Julie Payette, is rolling her eyes at religion, and that means she's rolling her eyes at the Queen too. The Governor General, Julie Payette, is a former astronaut, so it should be no real shock that she was speaking at a science conference. But she used her speech to take a swipe at climate change skeptics, people who believe in horoscopes, creationism, and in turn, she took a swipe at anyone with any faith in a higher power at all. It was really inappropriate and highly political. Just look at this clip.
Can you believe that still today, in learned society and in houses of government, unfortunately, we're still debating and still questioning whether humans have a role in the earth warming up, or whether even the earth is warming up, period. That we are still debating and still questioning whether life was a divine intervention or whether it was coming out of a natural process, let alone, oh my goodness, lo and behold, random process.
Did you see that elitist condescension, the eye rolling, all because people believe in a power higher than themselves in science? And then Payette decides she needs to lecture people on their belief, or rather disbelief, in climate change. Who does this woman think she is? Payette is certainly entitled to have her opinion, but her job is not to opine or use her role to push her opinions on the rest of us. She is not a politician. She's supposed to be the apolitical national unifier, a symbol of stability, and the Queen's representative in our constitutional monarchy. She isn't supposed to be intentionally divisive and partisan. Instead, she represents the monarch. But she sounds like she's working as the parliamentary secretary to the environment minister. Now, full disclosure, I'm a bit of a monarchist myself. I really like the Queen. Now, we can argue the merits of maintaining our ties to the monarchy all day long, but the fact is, we have a Queen and it isn't changing anytime soon. This is the system we all are living in. We are not a republic, and the people our leaders appoint to these positions have to reflect the role of the monarchy in our system. And when Payette makes fun of people of faith, actually insulting 67% of Canadians who, according to recent polling, believe in a higher power, Payette doesn't reflect the monarchy. Let me tell you why. Did you know the Queen is the supreme governor of the Church of England? She is the symbolic head of the Anglican faith worldwide. Just look at this. The sovereign holds the title, Defender of the Faith and Supreme Governor of the Church of England. Defender of the Faith, not mocker of religion. Yet her representative here in Canada is essentially looking down her nose at those who believe in the power of religion. It's bizarre. I'm not saying the Governor General needs to promote Anglicanism. I'm not saying that at all, but her role is directly tied to the head of a large Christian faith. When Payette mocks people of faith, she's mocking the Queen too. And if Payette doesn't believe in God or mocks people who believe in God, then she shouldn't be representing the royalty in Canada, because there is yet an extra tie from the monarchy to religion that people often forget about. The historical basis of our monarchy is that their authority and power is appointed by God. It's called the divine right of kings, or God's mandate, and it goes all the way back to King David in the Bible. Sure, at this point that idea is merely symbolic, but it is what it is, even if it is just Canadian tradition. And if Payette is opposed to such ideas, even symbolically, if she believes what she said in her speech about God, then wouldn't her own ethics and convictions have precluded her from taking her job in the first place? Or does she think she can reshape the job itself? What I mean to say is that if Payette doesn't believe in the significance of the tradition of the monarchy and their relationship to faith, she shouldn't have taken the job, and she shouldn't get to keep it now. Not to mention, the royal anthem of Canada is God Save the Queen. God, not science. The entire monarchy itself is based on the idea of divine intervention over and over and over. And of course, CBC is loving all of this. Look at this headline about Payette's faith-hating speech. CBC says Payette is being interesting when she parrots liberal talking points as opposed to being what she actually was that day: ignorant, smug, and disrespectful to at least 2/3 of Canadians. In fairness, one CBC article downplays her remarks, but the article does finally concede that she should not have made them in general. Besides the CBC, the Prime Minister and the Environment Minister, Catherine McKenna, have both come out swinging to defend Payette. The Prime Minister even said he was extraordinarily proud of Payette. And about those climate change deniers that Payette also makes fun of, they represent a growing number of Canadians and a large percentage of Albertans, in some places well over half the population. Talk about divisive from the nation's nonpartisan unifier. She sounded just like Catherine McKenna. Now, Trudeau may have picked Payette in his quest for gender parity. I don't know. She's a scientist, an engineer, and an astronaut, but so is Liberal MP Mark Garneau, and he's generally wrong about a lot of things. I'm not taking anything away from Payette, but being an accomplished woman does not necessarily make her the right person with the right temperament to be the representative of the royalty in Canada. There are plenty of other ways to honor Payette and her many, many accomplishments than to give her a job that, in just her first few weeks, is already proving she may not be fit for. Progressives are always trying to rewrite history. They want us to forget where we came from so we can forget who we are and the values that we collectively hold. Liberals are trying to water down tradition until it doesn't mean what it meant to begin with. In this instance, the Liberals are asking us to forget our shared national history while they make the traditionally nonpartisan role of the Governor-General suddenly partisan, an extension of the Liberal Party of Canada. And if Liberals can write God out of history while throwing established tradition right in the garbage, well, I guess that's even better for them. And while hearing this sort of anti-Christian, anti-God nonsense from the establishment left is nothing new, hearing it from a Governor-General certainly is, and I hope Canadians and the Queen don't stand for any of it. For the Rebel.media, I'm Sheila Gunn Reid. Speaking of climate change, I'm going to the UN Climate Change Conference in Bonn, Germany this year. They don't want me there. They've actually banned me, but I'm going anyways. If you can help cover the cost of our trip, go to letusreport.com.